Hi, I'm Yves Massard, Senior Product Marketing Manager at ActivIdentity, and today I'm going to show you the ActivID CMS Appliance and how easy it is to deploy smart card in your enterprise environment so that you can secure the authentication to your network as well as your laptop and desktops. So you will receive an ActivID CMS Appliance inside a box like this one. In it you will find a quick start guide that's going to show you the steps needed to deploy the appliance inside your environment. There will be 20 smart cards. Smart card is a credit card size plastic that has a secure chip that will contain your end user authentication credential, as well as 5 active key. An active key is essentially a smart card that's in a USB form factor, so you can easily plug it inside your desktop or your laptop. We have a mounting bracket as well as power supply. And then finally we have the ActivID CMS Appliance itself. It's a 1U form factor appliance that will be used to issue and manage the smart cards that are given to your end users. Next, I'm going to show you how to install and configure the appliance and how to use your smart card in a day-to-day environment. Here I am in the server room, so you just need to slide the appliance inside your standard rack. As you can see, it fits very easily. So you plug the 2 network ports. The second one is for redundancy. There is also a third one that can be used for IPMI management, remote management. And then finally you just plug the power and the appliance will start automatically. I am now back at my desk and I'm going to use my laptop to connect to the ActivID CMS Appliance and configure it.
So here's a schematic which gives you an overview of what's going on. There's Yves as the configurer, and he's going to run through the setup wizard which will configure the CMS appliance to be able to issue smart cards out to end users. A key part of that process is connecting to Active Directory, and this is done for 2 purposes. Firstly, Active Directory is used as the primary user repository, negating the need to import users into the CMS appliance. Secondly, the appliance connects to the directory and establishes the trust such that cards that it issues are trusted by the infrastructure for logging onto Windows, authenticating to VPNs and the like.
I start my web browser and I'm going to go to a URL that's provided to me in the quick start guide. This will get me to the configuration portal of the ActivID CMS Appliance. And the first time I go there, my web browser will warn me that I don't trust yet that website. I'm just going to ignore that warning. At the end of the setup, the appliance will have the trust setup so that I don't get that warning any longer. On the first screen, I have to choose between initial configuration and system restore. System restore is an option in case my appliance has a problem. Maybe there's a fire in the server room or a hardware issue. I can just take another appliance and restore my system from the last backup that is automatically generated. So here in this case, I'm going to go through the initial configuration. And then I'm going to go through a few screens where I have to type a few information. The first screen is about how do my appliance connect to Active Directory. So I'm going to provide the appliance the name of the domain controller that the appliance will connect against. And I will also provide username and password for a user in Active Directory that represent the appliance. So it's that account that the appliance will use when it connects to Active Directory. That account needs to have a few specific privilege set up so that it can look up the user in Active Directory as well as have the proper privilege to be able to push information, configuration and security information inside Active Directory. Next, I'm going to configure how the backup works with the CMS appliance. I'm going to tap a master password that's going to be used to protect my password as well as internal account inside the appliance. And then I will also provide a path to a network share where the appliance will automatically push backups by default at 1 AM every day. Then we have one last screen where we need to enter information, and that screen is about who will be the CMS operators. So I'm just going to type 2 usernames. They can be any user in Active Directory, and those will be the first 2 users that are administrator of the appliance. Then I have one last screen where I can review all the information that I've entered. At this step, if I'm happy with the things that I've entered, I'm just going to press configure, and the appliance will configure itself automatically. At this stage, all the security information is set up. The appliance is going to generate keys that are unique to my deployment, so that a smart card that's issued by that appliance is not shared, cannot be shared with a different customer environment. And the appliance will also push inside Active Directory all the security information, so that the trust relationship is set up between Active Directory and the appliance and the smart card that will be issued by that appliance. The installation is complete, the appliance will restart automatically, and we're ready to go to the next step. After that, I need to go on each domain controller, and I'm going to provide those domain controller security identification so that they can be used during the Windows Smart Card logon process. To do that, I will just go to the network folder that I set up for the backup for the appliance, and the appliance during its setup process automatically put the right tool that were needed. I'm going to run a simple batch file. While I do that, it's going to ask me to type the master password that I created during the wizard that we just went through. I type that master password, and from there the appliance will automatically import the right credential into the domain controller. That's all the configuration that's needed on the server.
Once the CMS appliance has been fully configured, the next step is to issue smart cards to the CMS operators that we set up during the setup wizard. These are the individuals who are going to manage the smart card population on a day-to-day basis, issue smart cards to new users, and withdraw smart cards from those who have left the organization.
As a CMS operator, in order to issue myself a smart card, I need to go to the self-service portal of the CMS appliance. I simply go to my web browser and go to the URL that's provided in the quick start guide, and I will go through a self-service portal that will let me issue that smart card. So I simply click start, I insert my smart card into the smart card reader, the appliance sees that there is a smart card present, and it's going to ask me to authenticate to know that I am the right person to get that smart card. So I type the username that I entered into the initial wizard. I type my password, which is my Active Directory password, and from there the CMS appliance will securely issue that smart card to myself. It's going to put all the credentials on the smart card that are needed, so that I will be able to use that smart card later on to authenticate to Windows, to log into VPNs, and do any operation that's needed with that smart card. It's doing that securely with a secure connection that's done all the way from the CMS server all the way down to the smart card. At this stage, I just need to choose the smart card PIN code. It can be 6 to 8 digits, and once that is done, that is the PIN code that I will use to unlock access to the smart card when I authenticate to Windows or other application. At that point, I'm done with initializing the smart card.
The CMS appliance is now fully configured, and the operators are set up and able to issue cards to end users. There are 2 models under which that can happen. The first is referred to as self-issuance. Here, the end user is provided with a blank card, and they use the self-service portal to self-issue their own card. We saw this model already, where the CMS operator issued his initial card in order to bootstrap the system. The second model is where the CMS operator issues cards on behalf of end users. So here the CMS operator takes a blank card, loads the certificates and other credentials onto the card, and then sends that card out to the end user.
I am now going to demonstrate how a CMS operator would issue a smart card to an end user. I'm going to log into the CMS operator portal with my smart card. I type my PIN code to authenticate to the operator portal. I'm going to go to the card issuance tab, and I'm going to look for my user by performing a lookup inside Active Directory. I find the user that I want to issue the card to. I can verify that the information is correct, and I'm going to click next to start the issuance. I will choose an initial PIN code for the end user and type it a second time to confirm it's correct. And at this point, CMS will issue the smart card for the end user in the same fashion as it did when it performed a self-service issuance. The user smart card is initialized, and at this point I can initialize another smart card if I wish to do so.
Our end users have now been issued with smart cards, and they can use those smart cards for a variety of different use cases, including Windows Smart Card Logon, securely accessing a VPN, secure web access, physical access, accessing the CMS Appliance self-service portal, and terminal server or Citrix logon. And now we're going to demonstrate a couple of those use cases: Windows Smart Card Logon and terminal server Citrix logon.
I'm now going to demonstrate logging into my laptop. I'm just going to take my smart card, and my laptop has an integrated smart card reader, so I just need to insert the smart card into the reader. If your computer doesn't have a smart card reader integrated, there's a number of options that are available, such as a USB reader or a PCMCIA or Express card reader that can also work with laptops. So I insert my card into the reader, I press Ctrl-Alt-Delete. Windows recognizes that it's my smart card that's been issued to myself, and I just need to type my PIN code, enter. Windows uses the smart card to securely authenticate me, and I'm logged in. If I remove my smart card, Windows is going to lock the screen automatically. Another use case I wanted to demonstrate was authenticating securely to a remote server like Citrix server or Windows Terminal server. But instead of using a static password, I'm using my smart card to securely perform the authentication. I'm going to start the Microsoft Remote Desktop Client, type the address of my remote server, choose my smart card credential, type my PIN code. At this point, the Remote Desktop Client is using the credential on my smart card to establish a secure connection to the server. And then after that, the server will remotely use the identity of my smart card to authenticate me to the server. I'm authenticated to the server, and I can perform any administrative operation inside the server. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this was useful in showing you how easy it is to deploy ActivID CMS Appliance and to issue smart card to your end users, as well as all the things that the end user can do with their smart card. For more information, you can go to ActivIdentity.com, and you'll find further information and contact information on how to request a trial. And don't forget, the same smart card that you use to authenticate to your network can also be used to open the door as well. Thank you.